Hello and welcome to the Buttcast episode 7. Today's special guest is Jay.
Yep, Jay, back at it again. Episode 6.
You were in episode 4 before.
So what episode is it, 6?
This is 7.
This is 7. Oh no,
Uh-huh.
I'm behind.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and start with what I expected this to be fully about, which is making fun of Kirby specifically.
Of course.
So I'd like to begin by explaining something that for all of you beautiful listeners happened 2 weeks ago, but for all of us will have happened days ago, which is the audio for that episode that is now going to be episode 6 was actually recorded on Kirby's laptop because of some technical issues. Thanks a lot, Kirby, for doing that for us. The only problem is we told Kirby, okay, now you send the audio to Ned. Ned's going to edit it. Ned's going to send it to me. And then I can post it. And then days before I'm supposed to post it, I asked Ned, how's it coming along? And he says, I don't have the file. I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, he never sent it to me. And so we all go over to Kirby and we're like, Kirby, why didn't you send the file? And he said, it said it was too big. And we said, okay, so what did you do? And he said, nothing. We're like, what? What do you mean? You tried one thing and gave up? And he's like, yeah. And like, why didn't you tell anybody? I was like, I don't know.
Oh no, sounds like something you do. Not even going to lie.
So that's why instead of that one being, well, it's supposed to be episode 5. It has become episode 6. I had to do some recording, just me talking, being like, hey, this is what's going on. All of them know that. You don't know that. Because none of that's been posted yet.
Yes, but they would know at the time of this recording, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But now I'm just spilling the tea on Kirby specifically. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest, you know. I realized that in the episode we recorded, that was after that happened. But is now episode 5, recorded with Kirby. That was after all that happened. I have no idea why I didn't talk about that.
Oh.
Why I guess I got distracted. That was a good episode, by the way, even though...
I'm just waiting for it to show up, I suppose.
It'll.
They would have it by now.
Oh yes. Yeah, for us, it'll be posted in a day.
A day tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Here's a little pullback behind the veil for me. While we were recording it, I was really concerned because I felt like we were being very sporadic. It felt like the stuff we were talking about, there was like no link between them at all. Like we were jumping from talking about hunting, Yu-Gi-Oh, and then talking about some other weird stuff than anime. It was like we were going all over the place. I felt very incoherent, and I genuinely felt like it made no sense while we were recording, which is probably, if you listen to it, you might hear me being a little nervous and trying to sing to the subject a couple times. That's why. But on listening back to it, it sounds perfectly fine. I have no idea why I was so worried that it was like unlistenable or something. When I listened back to it, was like, no, this is just sure, we went off topic more than usual, but that's never been something I wanted to prevent.
I suppose. I guess you gotta make links, no? Just talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, the anime and stuff. And then just the link goes on and on.
Yeah, I don't mind talking about stuff that's non-Yu-Gi-Oh! Just the fact is that I play Yu-Gi-Oh! And all the people I bring on are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! It's inevitable that most of the things we talk about will be Yu-Gi-Oh! But if we talk about other things, it's whatever. After all, all of you guests and myself, we are people that are more than just Yu-Gi-Oh! Players.
Yeah.
Like I learned that Kirby hunts.
He hunts?
Yes, apparently he bow and rifle hunts.
Bow and rifle? Oh.
Which is pretty surprising, you know. I'm not sure I would trust him with a firearm, but good to hear that he has hobbies, you know? Other than being bad at Yu-Gi-Oh! It's good to hear.
Okay, it's not that bad. Anyways, so let's start Yu-Gi-Oh! As always. The next set is coming up
Okay.
soon. I think
Darkwing
tomorrow.
Blast.
Tomorrow.
I don't know.
When is? I think it's
Now.
Wednesday.
As of this release, it's already out.
Well, as of this release, it's out. But Darkwing Blast, so excited! Cannot wait to play the best deck ever existing. Dragon Link is best deck, baby. Let's go! So excited, man. I don't want to play Yu-Gi-Oh until then. I'm just not trying to play Tears anymore, because Dragon Link is best deck. Always will be.
I looked over today, and you were playing Magic's the Gathering, and then you were playing Cardfight Vanguard.
Oh yeah, I sucked at that, by the way. I didn't understand what was happening.
I think you were planning on playing Digimon.
Of course, but Amro never showed up. I'm so upset.
Unlike me, I have only ever played Yu-Gi-Oh, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a person who's played multiple different card games,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps some of them better than others.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts? Like, what are some of the things you liked about them that you wish were in Yu-Gi-Oh? Things you're like, man, if only this had this thing from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Well, we could starting Magic the Gathering. I feel the game is too slow for me. I do play combo decks in Yu-Gi-Oh. Might be why. I know there's combo decks in Magic. It's just that I don't like the flow of it. That I have to have mana to start playing cards. What I do wish is that we had their artwork though. Their artwork is so cool, and then Yu-Gi-Oh's like, oh look at me, I printed a VTuber.
I really like that Yu-Gi-Oh is so diverse in its art. It's like, you can look at one thing and it's like, oh wow, that is just like a cartoon. It's like, wow, that is a photo. I think that's a real photo being blurred in the background in this other Yu-Gi-Oh card.
I don't know. The artwork could definitely use some work. For any reference, the Magic the Gathering artists, we were talking about this earlier today, they actually drew the Elder Entity artwork due to a strike they had on Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the Coast.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was that they were doing a strike from Magic the Gathering because of working conditions and pay. And then they got hired by the Yu-Gi-Oh people to make a few cards. I'm pretty sure they went back to Magic after they resolved whatever issues it was. It's just kind of a funny, kind of like a battle between the card games over the artists in a way. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, you weren't paying them? Then we will. We're snatching them up.
Yeah. It's unfortunate they went back, though, because those are pretty good. I don't know. I think I've seen the same chibi anime girl for the umpteenth time. I don't know how much I can keep looking at it. Like all these cards look the same to me.
I like anime, so the style is pretty consistent with what I enjoy.
I suppose. Then let's see. I played Vanguard. I don't understand what was happening. Yeah, I think it's like the fourth time playing it, and I still don't understand any of the mechanics. There's like 5 different formats they play. 4? Is it 3? Okay, 3 formats. It's weird.
Casper the Resident.
Yeah, Casper the Resident.
Casper the Resident Vanguard playing, correcting us.
Letting us know there's 3.
3 formats they actually play.
I
just know that there are things writing things.
Yeah.
There's the writing phase. Seems kind of sexual. Seems kind of weird.
No, yeah, I just didn't understand. I don't think I'd port anything over at all, ever. It's like, It was like Pendulum, XC something.
Yeah.
No, then Digimon is cool. Let's see. They have like a bunch of like little phases, and then the cool part I think is their mana system, their memory, that they have to interact with the opponent to be able to make their plays. I think that's pretty cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because whatever play you make, you give the opponent X amount of memory, and then it's like a little slide bar from like 10 to 0, and then that slide bar is mirrored to the other side. That'd be the opponent. So let's say that you have a 5 cost and you have 3 memory, you just 5 minus 3, that's 2, give the opponent 2 memory.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's cool. I don't know how, if any way, they would port that over, because we do have decks that have to interact with the opponent to play. Plunder Patrol.
Yeah.
They're not that good.
If you remember, old school Sky Striker had that problem too.
Yeah.
In old school Sky Striker, if you just didn't summon monsters, they wouldn't be able to go for an OTK because they didn't have anything to Shark Cannon or Widow Anchor.
Mm-hmm.
And what you do is you just save up enough cards till you could push through their board and OTK them. That was a strategy forever ago.
I think Numeron has the same issue. They need to punch into monsters, but they still get around it somewhat. It's just that their main strategy needs to go second.
Yeah.
Then what else I played? Pokemon.
You actually played Pokemon?
Yes, I played Pokemon. I was playing. This dude that goes and he's got like a box full of Pokemon, unsleeved, by the way. So all his Pokemon cards were unsleeved, and all his Pokemon decks were unsleeved. And I was like complaining. I was like, "Why are they unsleeved?" He's like, "What? I don't know. I just don't buy sleeves." I was like, "Buy sleeves." It's like, "Nah, I'm good." I don't know. It feels weird to shuffle without sleeves.
It feels gross and disgusting.
Yeah.
Something that a certain Kirby would remember well.
Yeah.
From doing well past the point of childhood, unlike the rest of us who figured it out.
I think it took us telling him why. I think we all collectively roasted him on having unsleeved decks.
I really don't remember when I figured out I was supposed to sleeve my cards. I feel like I tried shuffling the cards as they came. Obviously, I'm talking about Yu-Gi-Oh here.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt them like grinding past each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked into it, and that's when I found card sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how old I was when that happened. Do you have any recollection of when you started using sleeves?
Let's see. I think that I had Pokemon cards. Yeah, I had Pokemon cards. I had like a little binder that I bought off of someone for like $10. And so then I just pick them up, and I didn't know what I was doing. I just know I had to make a deck, and so then I start trying to, I don't know, I guess somewhat shuffle them. I was doing the Uno shuffle, where you grab the deck and you just half, and then half again, and you just keep putting the top half of the bottom half. And then I was like, this feels really bad, and I started seeing the back of my Pokemon card starts having white streaks on it. And so, like, I probably need a protector of some sort. Then fast forward until 2018 or 2019, I started getting cards. I'm like, you know what? I remember I need protectors for this. So I just go www.com Amazon. Deck protector. And it was just Dragon Shield sleeves. I was like, oh, okay. I guess we just need sleeves now.
Okay.
Yeah. The hardest thing for me was figuring out how to shuffle properly, because I would do that Uno shuffle, and then I just look it up online, and I had this dude hilariously tell me before every event, sort your deck into 3-ups that you want to see the most, stack them like in a specific order, and start shuffling, grab half, and then just angle shuffle them. And so I started seeing the comments, it's like, so, stacking.
Yeah, so he's teaching you how to mana shuffle and then how to stack your deck.
Yeah.
Is what you're teaching you how to do. Wow.
So, stacking. I was like, well, okay. I still took the sideways shuffling. I do that today. Mm-hmm. But it took me a bit, I would say, to figure out that I needed sleeves.
It was pretty early on that I went to my local card store. And that one of the interesting things for me, a lot of the people here that I'm interacting with, it's like the first time they really got involved with their community was at college. Mm-hmm. Whereas for me, I went to my local card store. By the way, no one in my age range. They were like literal children, and then just like 30-year-olds, unironically. And so it was the 30-year-olds who were helping me, like, oh, okay, yeah, you should get some more sleeves, you should do this, oh, you want some commons from this set, here you go. And I was like, at that point I was like in, what was that, middle school, early high school is when I first started going to the card shop, and it was just these 30-year-old dudes
I think my card shop. Let's see. Everyone there's about my age range right now. I know there's this kid that shows up every locals. He's like in, I want to assume 5th grade or starting middle school. I don't know. His mom comes and drops him off every like tournament day, and he shows up with blue eyes, just pure blue eyes.
Pure blue eyes.
And he plays so erratically. He starts just dumping cards, and then I just hear everybody, yo, chill out. Stop fast playing. I have a response. And they respond to him. He doesn't, I don't see him be visibly upset or anything. Get absolutely creamed by Despia.
Yeah.
But, because I remember his mom came to pick up him and was like, Mommy, I lost. So excited.
Yeah.
I lost to Despia.
At least he's a good sport.
And then I think they gave him like a card pack or something, and then he got really happy about it.
Bro, he got a card pack?
Yeah, a card pack.
That's huge.
Yeah. And she was like, okay, I don't remember his name. She said his name, and she goes, "Let's just go in the car. We're gonna go to school tomorrow." And he's like, okay. And he scoops up his entire deck in the middle of the tournament. Scoops up his deck, puts it in the box, rolls up his mat, and dips.
What is he supposed to do?
I don't know. It's just so funny. In the middle of the tournament, he just disappears.
When mom says it's time to go, it's time to go. You got to get out of there.
Of course, but it's just funny. I don't know. Then I played against this dude. He was like definitely well over 25. I think man was starting to have a receding hairline. Poor dude. He was playing Flunder, so screw him. Yeah, I lost to him. He's freaking Flunder. I hate it so much. Yeah, he was like, man, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm just gonna sit on this birdie statue. And I was like, thanks, bro. Really appreciate it.
I remember because again, I started playing competitively during TOS, and by that I mean I actually went to locals and I played. Well, I played at my locals. I don't know. It's kind of funny. As I've met more people, I feel like I got more competitive than them when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't really moved past that. Where it's like I was with my DDD structure deck. I took that to locals, and I actually played in the tournament. I lost, but I played, and then I did that for a little while until Salad structure deck came out, and then I convinced my girlfriend to buy me 3 of that. Thanks to her again, as always. And then that's what I played. I overpaid a lot for Sunlight Wolves because the prices they were really hyped up.
What, the structure deck?
The Sunlight Wolf was separate from the structure deck.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I don't remember the structure deck at all because I think I played.
It had 3 Ash Blossom in it, which is why it was 3 Ash Blossom in it and was a tier 1 deck basically out of the box. It's pretty crazy.
I think last time structure deck did that was the Despia structure deck, right?
I mean the Albaz,
yeah, the Albaz
branded
stuff, yeah.
I mean,
sort of.
It's not enough. You need other stuff.
You needed Alubers for sure. And those were very expensive, man. That should be the Sunlight Wolves though, and then
the Sunlight Wolves. I don't remember. I think they were just rares. It was literally just because so many people were trying to get the structure deck that it got hyped up to like $10 a copy.
Not that bad.
It was bad when it's supposed to be like a $3 card, maybe a $2. I also remember the only other coming back to me now. I remember specifically what you bought is you got 3 of the structure decks, and then you needed your Lady Debugs, which were in a different structure deck. So you could just get those 3 structure decks to get the Lady Debug and the Transcode Talker and a bunch of Cyber support cards, and then you'd get your 3 Sunlight Wolves, and bam, that was literally the whole deck. You could top at least your locals, probably. If you were actually a good player, you could probably top a regional with just that, because that was salad.
Yeah, I just wish more structure decks would be that good.
Yeah, well, again, you're right. The Albaz structure deck was very good.
Let's see. I think the next structure deck that'd be hyped up is the Dark World structure deck.
Yeah.
Because I think it comes with the new cards, right? I think most of everything that you need. You're definitely gonna need the dangers, but the dangers are not that expensive. Well, anymore. The snake.
Yeah.
Snake. The danger snake. I don't know its name.
That's enough.
Yeah, that. It's still $30 something, and it's only got like one printing, 2 printings.
Anyone want to buy Tatsunoko?
No, no one wants to buy Tatsunoko. I maybe would have if Biscuit wasn't coming out. So, yeah.
I bought a Bigfoot to round up my danger engine. Turns out I had a Bigfoot because I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
It cost me like $3, and I was like, how obnoxious! I had to spend $3 on this card that I remember at some point cost me nothing. It's one of those. It feels weird. I am no Yu-Gi-Oh investor, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used to want to just like have all my cards and really not sell any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I was like, but I want money to buy more cards. And then I was like, you know what? I just kind of want to offload everything that I'm not actively playing.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. I'm trying to do that, but all my decks are old and nobody wants to get them. Like nobody wants to buy Virtual World anymore.
I managed to sell my bulk, which is where a lot of those old strategies were.
I suppose.
In my bulk.
I don't have a bulk worthy of selling. It's just all bad cards.
Mine felt like that, but you let them ruffle through it, and then they.
Well, I mean, you had like 2 big boxes. I have like a tin's worth of bulk.
Oh yeah, you youngins.
Yeah, I have a tin's worth of bulk, man. You had like 2 dude boxes.
Yeah, and that's just my bulk. I've got another dude box just full of deck cores from all the different decks I've built over time.
I think I only have. Let me see. I have the Thunder Dragon deck core, Virtual World, that Emancipator, D-Link. So I have like 5 deck cores, including tiers, which is great. But nobody wants to buy the. I'm not selling my Thunder Dragon deck ever. That's just something I've decided. Best deck. I can't sell the best deck. Then nobody wants to buy Rocks, unfortunately, or Virtual World.
I really didn't think I was going to be able to sell my Mathmech deck.
Yeah.
But, I managed to pull that off.
I didn't expect you to either. That's the sucker that bought it, kind of unfortunate.
I think it was that sucker happened to be playing Exosister, so I'm not sure whether or not it's maybe not a strict improvement, but it's definitely interesting.
I think Exosister has better matchups against the meta than Mathmech does, though.
Yeah, but you kind of get bored of just winning or losing off a shifter alone every time.
I mean, I would. I don't know about them. No.
Okay, good to know. Personally, no, I don't know. Having a little bit of a variety is good. That's one thing I actually like about tiers, is that you can just change the build and the playstyle radically changes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is something I think, and they're still competitive, right?
Yeah.
So you can switch between your branded and your danger variants, because right now I have a incomplete danger variant of tiers, but I own all the branded cards because I bought 3 of those structure decks.
Yeah.
So at any given point in time, if I get bored of playing with dangers, I can just completely pivot the deck to being just branded.
Yeah.
And if I get bored of being competitive, then I can turn it into Sandwich Turbo.
Sandwich Turbo.
Because that's a thing you can do.
Okay. I don't know. I guess I'm not too casual for that.
You're not casual
I'm not casual
enough
for Sandwich Turbo. It would be for Thunder Dragon, though. Because best deck.
I just want to confirm something. We had a little segment that was cut off briefly. Let me just walk through this a little bit. So the previous episode we recorded, which was released now, is episode 5. What part of us jumping all over the place? Part of my panic to try to pull us into something is that I just randomly started doing Smash or Pass on the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list. The cards on the Yu-Gi-Oh ban list. Because, that's Yu-Gi-Oh topic, and it's an easy thing to do.
Okay.
And as we were going, we got to Colossus, and we both agreed that you would smash Thunder Dragon Colossus.
Not correct. I'm not a Scaly. I swear, guys. I may play Dragon Deck. I'm not a Scaly.
So
Yeah.
you're not interested in Thunder Dragon Colossus.
No, Thunder Dragon Colossus is awesome, but I just wouldn't smash.
Here's a would you rather. Would you be willing to ban Colossus in order for him to be removed from the ban list? If you don't do it, he is never unbanned.
Oh no.
He's very gentle. He's very nice.
You know what? Thunder Dragon is best deck all the way, baby. Let's go.
Let's go.
Fucking called it.
Good to know. Good
Yes,
to know.
sir. Under any other circumstance, though, I'm not a scaly.
Understood.
I swear.
I understand. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're already on this topic, I don't know. I feel like the smashability of arts is just kind of a funny topic to talk about. I'm a kind of person that I tend to get way too into things, and I tend to overanalyze everything.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So people will make a smash or pass on like Pokemon or something, and I'm over there like, what? I know that they said smash this giant robot-looking thing as a meme, but I'm like, but objectively, what is the most smashable Pokemon? It's like,
What?
well, you have to evaluate like the human empathy amount. Like I look at Lopunny and it's like, sure, she's clearly designed to be sexy, but it's like, does she have a soul? You know? I get like way too into it, thinking about it, for no good reason.
Does Lopunny have a soul?
You know, you look in her eyes and you're like, I think that there's a like rabbit brain back there, not a human brain. You know, look at her cold, dead, beady eyes, and you're like, that's a rabbit with a sexy woman's body.
Yeah, man, I can't agree. I don't know.
You haven't thought about that? You haven't joined me in this pit.
No.
I think about things that I have no business thinking about.
No. What? That's a crazy. Does she have a soul? Oh.
Yeah, people ask you, are you going to smash Lopunny? I look at it, I'm like, would I smash Lopunny? There is no gut reaction of just smash, not smash. I look at it, I'm like, feminine features are present. Good. Looking at her appearance, age expectation, I don't know, but it looks like she is designed to evoke ages older than the minimum necessary age. Okay, well, tentative, put a pass on that one. Look into her eyes. Human intelligence, is it there? I don't know. Let's look for something. Any sort of human like empathy or emotion. Looking into those cold, dead rabbit eyes. Like, I don't think there's anything back there.
Okay. I can understand why you would go there,
but you would never do it.
No, that'd be too much for me. So then you just start thinking it's just a rabbit hole. You know.
But I mean, that's how I live life. Is that I think down rabbit holes.
It's crazy. I'm just more simple. I combo or I don't combo this.
When I was a kid, my mom would come put me to bed. What would happen is that she would put me to bed like at least an hour early, because she knew it was going to happen. Which is, I was going to talk for an hour.
To yourself?
To her.
Oh.
Just about everything I had thought about that day.
It's crazy.
I would just talk to her down all these rabbit holes of all these things I had thought about throughout the day. And maybe some things that I had thought about the other day, but I hadn't talked to her yet. And to this day, I will often go to bed an hour early, because I will lay awake thinking for an hour before I actually fall asleep.
Interesting.
Just letting my mind wander down rabbit holes and think about all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, I hit the pillow and I'm dead on the spot.
I cannot do that. I wish I could do that.
It depends. If I'm like from out of work or something, extra tired, the moment I just touch the bed, I'm gone. But for like any other day, the moment I touch the pillow, I sleep.
My girlfriend's like that. My girlfriend, or she has been like that. It all depends. There have been many occasions where she will get home from work, go to her bed, and fall asleep, the light on, fully dressed, shoes, Not even on the bed. She ain't even in it. And then, her mom will come by and take a peek in the room and notice she's asleep. Like, okay, turn off the light, close the door. She's out.
Oh, no, that's great. Because then you just wake up and you just don't know what day, what year.
You have no idea what's going on.
You just wake up and like, oh, okay, awesome. Where?
Well, if you do something like that, like for her, it'd be when she got back from work, which was not that late. She just went to work really early in the morning those days. Her schedule's changed since then. But back in those days, she would go to work really early in the morning, and then she'd get home, and usually she'd take a nap, and then wake up, and then, do some stuff, and then go to sleep for real in the actual, like, more normal time in the evening.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened sometimes is she'd get home and she'd pass out. And then what would happen is, because she passed out at, like, I don't know, like 6, like, she'll wake up at, like, some random time in the middle of the night, fully dressed, and be like, oh no, I napped too long. I'm like, no, you didn't nap. You slept. You slept for 8 hours. You didn't nap.
Oh, that's great. I love doing that. It's awesome. Anyways. Now what?
This line of conversation has ended.
Of course.
Okay, well, since I'm not done psychoanalyzing this section as to fictional characters, let's go to the furry index, right? Let's try to figure out where you are. Okay, so on the have you ever heard of the furry index?
No.
So we kind of let's
be worried?
put the two extreme, right? Human person, normal human person.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone agrees, perfectly fine, right?
Sure.
Like, everyone agrees, nothing weird about humans or animals, but everyone agrees that, doing things with animals is perfectly normal. And then, what's the other end? Literally a cat. Mm-hmm. Basically, everyone agrees you don't do that. That's a cat.
Yeah.
It's just an animal.
Yeah.
A bestiality, no good, right? Vast majority of people think. So those are, our two extremes, right?
Okay.
And then we have this spectrum in between of all these fictional characters, right?
Uh-huh.
So we have... I'd say the next step up, a lot of people start with just cat girls. I like to put a little in-between step between those two, which is just normal girl, but, wearing cat ears and a cat tail. Like an outfit, right?
So furry.
No, I don't mean, a fursuit.
Oh.
I mean, literally, those cat ear...
Oh, like the streamer stuff.
Yeah, just like the cat ear... I don't know if you ever had a sister or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, my sister, she got little cat ears that she would wear, and there's a little cat tail. Just like a little outfit. That's...
Okay.
So, then there's that. And some people find that attractive just because it's a woman.
Okay.
Some people find it slightly more attractive because it evokes certain aspects of a cat. Like certain personality traits we associate with cats. Like that they are... Well, a lot of people just think of cats as being feminine in general. But that they're, devious, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then they would attribute that to the human woman and think maybe she is more attractive because they are thinking about these certain traits of cats, and she's associating herself with that.
Okay.
And then the next step up is just a cat girl.
Uh-huh.
I assume you know what cat girls are.
Yeah.
But we're going to go with the bum basic one, just ears and a tail, right?
Yeah.
But they're real. She's really, got cat features, and maybe some of her personality traits are more cat-like. And some people find that more attractive than a normal one for the same reasons. Or at least equally attractive. And then it gets, for me, this is where it gets weird, which is when you start adding more cat features. Like when they got, cat paws, because sometimes they do. Or when their whole body becomes furred. Or when you get to the point that it's basically just a human-shaped cat.
Human-shaped cat.
Like Zootopia.
Oh, okay.
So think that. That's what most people associate with furry, right?
Yeah.
Most people are totally chill with cat girls, right?
Sure.
Sure. Most people see a cat girl on a show or something, and they're like, if someone else says that they are sexually attracted to that character in that anime or show or whatever, people usually don't bat an eye at that. But then when someone says they're attracted to a character from Zootopia, now you're like, I think you're a furry.
Okay.
I feel like that most people agree with me, but for some reason everyone I've had on gets weirded out even by the cat ears.
It's not that bad with cat ears.
Not that bad, so you say it's bad.
No, what? So the cat ears like, so it's just like wearing like a head, like a head,
Winning.
just
Yeah.
a head.
Like most people, I feel like the idea of a woman with a cat girl,
Yeah.
is, if not attractive, is perfectly acceptable. Would you not find yourself in that camp?
I would agree.
You would agree. Okay.
Yeah.
But you think Zootopia, that's furry stuff.
I think starting where they start having paws is bad.
I agree. The paws are bad.
I think starting there, that's bad. Cause then it's just weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's kind of just weird. It's just weird to me.
Now let's segue this back to Yu-Gi-Oh.
Of course.
Opinions on Neko Gal.
Who's Neko Gal?
What Neko Gal? What is it? 3, 4, and 5. Simo, MBT, and Gage.
What?
I think it was the 3v3. The team name that Alex, Simo,
Oh.
Mono Blutron, and Gage chose as their team name was Neko Gal's 3, 4, and 5, I think, or 2, 3, and 4, something like that.
Okay.
But Neko Gal is just a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Oh, Neko Gal's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Okay, well we gotta see it first. Then we will decide.
I have found some very strange images by searching that. Okay, so we've got Neko Gal number 1.
What the heck? Nah, bro, not for me, bro.
Also, just a weird card. The Beast,
It's a sure.
1,100 attack, 900 defense, level 3.
Is that
I
flavor
remember
test?
the old school ones that are just like number 1 and number 2.
Number 2.
Why is number 1 a Beast, but number 2 is a Beast Warrior? Interesting.
I don't know. No. Their backs are way too arched.
I mean, they're really creepy looking.
Yeah.
I don't think these were meant to be attractive. This is back in the old days when Yu-Gi-Oh was monsters.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess that would make sense. Not for me, though.
Not for me either.
Yeah.
It's just kind of I was reminded. I was like, talking about cat girls. Oh, yeah, Neko Gal, that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I haven't actually looked at Neko Gal's art in a long time, so I'd forgotten what it looks like. Why does it have bee wings? Like bug wings? This is not a Neko Gal.
Those look like mosquito wings.
That's a pretty weird looking card. I'm going to put that in the thumbnail.
Great. Great. Awesome.
Do
the mannequin cat. There you go.
Mannequin cat?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's,
mannequin cat, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one with the paws. That, you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
No. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about. Mannequin cat, it's being played in Sprite right now.
Yeah, the rank 2 that says special something.
Yeah. She's interesting. She's got like, I don't know if she's got cat. I don't think those are cat paws. I can't really tell though.
Is it?
I think she's just wearing little boots.
Oh,
But then again, she's a puppet.
she looks not human, so.
She do be a mannequin,
Yeah.
as the name implies.
Yeah, so non-human.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's an interesting. Also, she's just interesting for combos. I remember forever ago when she was being played in some combos with Ibli. You'd give your opponent Ibli. Do you remember Ibli?
I hate Ibli. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
There was some combos where you'd give your opponent Ibli, and then you would use Mannequin Cat to summon any like Dark or Cyberse monster from your deck.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good back in the day. What other things was Mannequin? I remember Mannequin Cat was being played in Mermail for some reason. I don't remember why. But I just know we were summoning something to your opponent's side of the field, and then Mannequin Cat. Oh, I remember Summon Sorceress as well. It was used in Summon Sorceress combos too.
That makes sense. That makes more sense.
You summon something to your opponent's link point
Yeah.
with Summon Sorceress.
They just trigger it.
That was one of the funnier things about Summon Sorceress. Summon Sorceress was obviously banned because it was, good at summoning cards from your deck.
Yeah, something for deck is too good.
But one of the funnier things that Summon Sorceress did was let you give your opponent monsters. which means some people were giving them, like Yagiro Invader. Do you know what Yagiro Invader
Yes,
is?
the Far from Table 500 special.
Yes. So some people were giving their opponents like Yagiro Invader with her. There's this one crazy like fire fox spirit monster or something or other that did something weird. It put some weird restriction on your opponent that was actually a benefit. I don't remember, but since you gave it to your opponent, it did it to you. There were a lot of cards that clearly were not intended for you to give them to your opponent and deck build around the quote-unquote restriction they place on you.
Yeah. I guess the more modern version of that would be Raw's Disciple with branded Retribution.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. I'm so excited to play against that every time that I load up any game.
Just draw droplets, man.
Yeah, just have the out forehead.
I don't know. How many people are? I know online people be like that, but how is it actually like performing at turns at all?
I don't know. I don't.
Neither do I. I heard about it and I was like, that seems crazy good, if it's like consistent and lets you and is resilient and all these other things that I don't really know how to check just by looking at the cards.
Yeah. Well, online, in person, you would, like in a tournament, let's say YCS or something, you would definitely have more outs than usual if you're just deck testing.
Yeah.
You would be maining DD Crow or Ghost Bell or anything that would stop that combo because, Tears, Sprite, whatever. For this format specifically, you would be main decking DD Crow for that. And then if you're main decking DD Crow and everyone's main decking DD Crow, then that's just worse.
Yeah. And then suddenly it's just another easily interruptible piece of the combo, and they're just playing a bunch of these extra cards for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, like, if it eats the DD Crow, maybe that's a good thing.
Maybe.
But that really depends on the build, I guess.
Depends on the format, too. Because if everyone's running DD Crow, if no one's running it, then it's good. Like, no one's running Lancia right now.
Uh-huh.
Or no one was running Lancia right now. And then Tri-Brigade Sprite decided to show up because you don't have Lancia in the side deck. You can't blow out Tri-Brigade.
Yeah.
So
now some people are trying to play it again.
yeah, as soon as people start trying to play Tri-Brigade again, they will start playing Lancia. I've seen people topping with Lancia in their side deck.
I guess it's also kind of funny because it eats the DD Crow,
Mm-hmm.
which could come up.
Lancia hilariously stops evenly matched.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Yeah, activate evenly matched in the battle phase. That's crazy, Chain Lancia.
One little fun thing about Ghost Spell specifically is that sometimes it just cosplays as Called by the Grave. Since everyone's on DD Crow right now, if you're on Ghost Spell and they DD Crow you, you can just Ghost Spell it.
Yeah, you could also just stop the call. You could.
Yeah, it can also negate Called by, which is pretty funny.
You could DD Crow, get called by, get Ghost Spelled. Nice try, kid.
Yeah. Nice one. Although more common than I think it's just the DD Crow chain DD Crow to the Called by the Grave, which is also pretty funny.
Yeah, not once per turn, everybody. Let's go.
Not once per chain.
Not once per anything.
Yep. May Snow rest in peace, being not once per chain.
Man, I miss Snow, man. What the heck?
A fellow. What is the word I'm looking for? Man of culture? I don't know. A fellow sophisticated individual who also liked Snow.
Snow was awesome, bro. But I mean, did he get hit? Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I just miss it, man. Imagine having a card that is not once per turn interruption. That's what Snow was.
Uh-huh.
And you just had to play a specific deck that ran it, which I only play those specific decks.
You only play combo decks that put a lot of cards in your graveyard?
Yeah, so, started Thunder Dragon, Dragon Link, Tears.
You were just looking at it and you're like, this is support for me specifically.
Yeah, it came off the list. I'm like, yo, this is awesome. So then I start playing Dragon Link, Shooting Riser, Sand, Snow, combos, etc. And then I got Tears, somehow Curious Snow, and they got banned. And they also banned Chaos Ruler, and that made me really upset.
Yes, you as an aspiring Dragonlink player to see two really good Dragonlink cards go.
That was unfortunate. And so then everyone was like, "Yo, where's your Dragon Link deck, bro?" And I was like, "Just wait for Bestial, whatever." It was Bisted back then. And so I am. Just wait turbo.
Wait turbo.
Turbo.
Everything has to be turbo, even waiting.
Yeah, of course. You can't. You can't.
I feel like wait turbo could be a thing, but I'm struggling. I'm trying to think of something that could be called wait turbo.
It's like when you are waiting for a doctor's appointment and someone tells you, "Are you out yet?" And then they say no, and they tell you, "Hurry up." You just wait faster.
Yeah.
Wait turbo.
I'm thinking like, what would a Yu-Gi-Oh deck named Wait Turbo be? Would it be one of those decks that's like, banish it till the next standby phase?
I suppose.
Or would it be like waits like heavy things?
Be just a deck full of gold sarcophagus. Spanish your whole deck, and then eventually get it one. Instead of drawing, you just get it back out of the gold sarcophagus. It'd be awesome.
Gold Sark for Gold Sark. And then you get it and you go Gold Sark for Gold Sark.
Of
and
course.
Then you get it and you Gold Sark for like the other Gold Sark. What is the flip monster that does banish the top three until?
Don't know.
Oh, I remember there was what is the card? There was a card that lets you banish the top three cards of your deck, and then during the second standby phase you add them all to your hand, which is like objectively terrible, because why would you activate a card that doesn't gets you a +1 after 2 turns, right? But it did see play. Guess what?
In Thunder Dragon?
No.
No.
And banish them face down. So.
Oh, banish them face down.
No effects.
No, I don't know that. Mystic Mind?
Yes.
Oh, pain.
Mystic Mind Burn.
That's pain.
Mystic Mind Burn played it, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to make it to 2 turns. I'm going to make it that far to help me dig for my judgments and my prediction princess.
I hate Mystic Mind so much, man. Oh. It's okay, guys. It'll be banned next format.
Surely.
Copium.
Surely. I liked Mystic Mind as a burn deck. I thought that was really funny.
No.
I don't know. I thought it was very humorous that such a deck existed and would just occasionally top.
Burn decks are cringe.
What?
Burn decks are cringe.
Oh, burn decks are cringe. I don't know. I feel like they have their time to shine. I remember what format was it? There was one format where some dude who used to be a competitive player, like he left the game and then came back like years later. The format completely different, and he had his burn deck from back then.
Mm-hmm.
It was like the old school the only monster you play is Backjack.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to use like just desserts and stuff to burn your opponent for game. And he's like looking at this tournament coming up, and he's like, "Oh, I'll just play burn." And he adapts the deck to play against the meta decks and stuff. And he brings burn, and he gives the sheet to the Konami attendant or whatever. And they look at it and they literally laugh because they see there are only like 2 monsters in the list. And they're like, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yes." And then he played that event and he topped.
Unfortunate.
It turned out to be a really good format for burn, just by the way that the top decks were at the time. I really can't remember what format that is. I'm sure by telling the story, someone who listens will remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, so I can't help you there.
But that was kind of cool. It was like underdog burn kind of winning.
I don't know.
I don't hate alternative win conditions.
I do.
I talked before about Runix specifically.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Runix clearly designed to be a mill strategy.
Yeah, that was just mill 2.0 because releasing alongside tiers, you can't have a mill strategy if it's alongside tiers, right? Because then you just plus them more.
Well, it's like modern mill because it actually banishes the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of better.
If it was banish face down, it'd be
Crazy.
incredible.
Yeah, it'd be way better. But I mean, it's basically that because not a lot of people are actually having a bunch of banish synergy right now. Although that might change a little bit because some of the new tier cards interact with the banish zones, don't they? I think so. I think some of the tier cards.
Some of them add from the. I think one of them adds from the banish pile.
Not sure if that card will actually see play. I don't remember which one it is, but maybe that'll be relevant in the Brunic matchup.
Maybe.
But anyway, it was clearly, or it seems to be, clearly designed for allowing you to deck your opponent out. But it never does it. But it's still good, but for completely the wrong reasons, it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
What makes it good is how infinitely splashable it is and how it gives you a free body that you can then use to combo off, and how you get the draws and stuff, and you draw not into more runic cards. That's not what you want to do. You want to draw into your actual engine, the actual deck you're playing, whether that's be Tears or Sprite or whatever. It kind of, I don't know, because I actually would have really liked it if it was a mill deck.
Yeah.
If they had some sort of restriction, other than you not being able to attack, that made it so that it was a lot less mixable with other things, and the actual objective was to stop your opponent from killing you while slowly decking them out. You have just enough resources to kind of keep them at bay until finally, bam, they go for the draw phase. There's nothing there, they lose.
Mm-hmm.
That I hope, of course, obviously, if it was like tier 1, I'd hate it. But if that was like a rogue deck that could occasionally top is this pure runic deck that's actually trying to mill your opponent out, I could see that being really cool and neat.
Yeah.
But the way it is now, I absolutely despise the runic cards.
I feel like they were trying to make the right thing, as you said. Trying to make this. Because, playing against pure runic is fun. I actually played against pure runic against the resident Mystic Mind player. We were testing for Mystic Mind being banned. So then he was doing runic, Vanity's Fiend?
Oh, yeah.
Turbo. The one that, I can't activate monster effects or something. And so I was telling him, this is more fun than playing as Mystic Mind because I can actually interact with the monster. I have outs in my main deck for multiple, not just the one for the Mystic Mind.
Yeah.
So we were doing back and forth. I would negate the dude. I would start doing my stuff. He would stop me from doing my stuff, and then his dude stopped being negated. And then I would just do it again, just keep trying to punch through the wall. That was fun. But then it just started playing. I started playing against Runic Sprite. That's not fun.
That's not fun.
Runic Tears. That's not fun. Runic Sprite Tears.
Yeah. That's just terrifying. When you see the two best decks and the most degenerate engine all together and it topped, that's just terrifying.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. But I feel like if they had a special summon restriction on the stuff, it'd be pretty good. You can't special summon except Runic. Because it's Runic now, it's not Miss Rune.
I don't know. I'm sure there are a lot of ways they could have done it. One of it, it's kind of interesting. The way, because they summon them specifically to the extra monster zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that means you can't summon another one of the guys until you remove it.
Mm-hmm.
In a weird way, I was looking at that and I was trying, because I tried to build pure runic when I first read the cards. Right? Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to do this mill strategy, and I was like, oh, this is just terrible. But it's weird, even if you're trying to build it pure, you kind of end up trying to throw in other cards to help you remove your own dudes from the extra monster zone so you can summon more guys.
Yeah.
And it kind of seems like, in hindsight, poorly designed from the very beginning. Because just playing the cards by themselves, you realize immediately you need non-engine cards to help get over some weird restrictions that it places on itself, basically. Yeah. But also, but then you can't play it pure, so it can't have a restriction. I don't know. It's very weird. It seems like it was designed to be splashed in things a little bit, but at the same time, it also feels like obviously this should have never been splashed in anything. I feel like it almost feels like there were competing design philosophies for this one strategy. They couldn't decide which way they wanted to do it.
Maybe they made it halfway through, and then they were like, you know what? Maybe we make this not splashable, guys. Just change one line of text to say can only special summon 2 extra monster zone. And ta-da, we did it, guys. And then, no, you didn't. No, not at all.
I wouldn't be if they started doing some testing and they're like, oh, this is. I wouldn't be. Here's a theory. Maybe they started doing it and they intended for it to be a very pure deck, and they had more restrictions on the cards.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got word like, oh, we need more good product in this upcoming set. The Runics are scheduled to be in it. Okay, buff the power level of the Runics a little bit so that this set doesn't flop.
Yeah.
And then they just took off some of the restrictions so they could be used generically.
I don't know.
And that's the reason why some of the stuff feels kind of weird, because they have some of the restrictions they're supposed to have, and then they lost some of them. I don't know. That's a theory. It's a crackpot theory.
I just think that Konami doesn't test, period. There's no shot they test, man. There's some of these things that should not happen.
I don't know. I feel like they test some amount.
Can't be that intensive. Like,
I doubt it's all that intensive, but
they definitely don't test for the ban list.
I wonder how much it would cost them to hire, like, really competitive players to be testers for them, or even if they would need to pay them. I don't know. One of the weird things about Konami that I don't know if they realize is that they can get away with doing a lot of stuff without paying people. Hear me out. If they had an event, creative card event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they had the poll before about what deck should get a new structured deck or what deck should get a new support card.
Yeah.
Remember, like the Insector one. And then if they just went and said, hey, we're going to go to all of these, influencers and ask them to give us a draft of what they think the card should be, those influencers then will go to their community and say, hey, give me a draft for what you think this card should be. And then they kind of pick the one they think is the most reasonable, and then they present that one in a video to Konami. And then Konami takes those options, and then they kind of roughly make the card out of those suggestions, right?
Yeah.
Nobody got paid there, presumably. I don't think you need to pay anyone, because the content creators are excited because now they get to tell their audience, you could be the person who designed the new support card for Insector, right?
Yeah.
And then all the people in the audience are like pogging out of their minds, like, oh my gosh, it could be me. And they submit some awful submission. And then they happily filter it out, the content creator, to put the best ones up, because they want to be the one who picked the card that became the new card. And then some Konami employee is the only one who gets paid to kind of finally sift it down the last bit. But you kind of offset most of the workload while generating a ton of hype.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there are some possible bad things where, like, people get disappointed that, oh, clearly this one was the better version. If people didn't do it, but I don't know. I think it could be a cool thing to try once, and if it doesn't work out, don't ever do it again.
See, they don't even have to do all that. Like, talking about ban list, we have big content creators. Every ban list season, they make their own dream ban list, and then they have their community play under that ban list.
Yeah.
And so all Konami needs to do is just boot up the YouTube video, see what worked and what didn't work, and then you guys can be like, oh, okay, this is good to take off, and this just stays forever.
Yeah.
Masterpiece.
Masterpiece. Honestly, I think Masterpiece come up these days.
No,
I
think
so.
there was a Cali Effect video or whatever. He had like a tournament where he made this dream band list. It was like Colossus to 1, Masterpiece to 1, I think Master Plan to 1, a few other things to 1, and then what won that event was Sword Soul, featuring Masterpiece. Because Masterpiece is searchable. It's a word.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I think Thunder Dragon got absolutely creamed by everything. Hilariously, they made Colossus and everything. They just got impermed.
Yeah.
They got Dark Rulered, Droplet, whatever. They just got outed and then just started punching through everything. That was funny. Unfortunate, poor Thunder Dragon players. But yeah, Masterpiece just got searched by Chishao, I think. and then it got summoned using the trap card, and it was just a monster. It was just towers.
Yeah.
Towers with the pop.
Well, if they use trap and monster, then it's like people are playing droplets, people are playing storms.
Mm-hmm.
There's answers to that, but then I guess that going blind, it's better to do that because of trap decks.
Mm-hmm.
But game 2 and 3, then they just use a spell, presumably.
Yeah.
So then that your opponent's like, did you have the trap card out it in your monster deck? Probably not. Then again, now Tears is playing Salic, which is of a trap card that would then presumably let you.
It's also very interruptible. It's a continuous. You just get rid of it, right? Also, no. Well,
pop the Salic.
The thing is that because Masterpieces would be impervious to trap cards, you just black out target the Masterpiece. That's a free pop too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I can see how that'd be a problem. I was thinking about Pure, but you're right. You mixing it with some of the newer support, newer worm support, I can see how that would definitely be a problem.
Yeah, so Konami doesn't even need to do any of that. They just look at the videos. Or you could take the extreme MBT's videos, plural, where he unbans nearly everything, and then the only things that win are the today's meta decks.
Yeah, I think MBT's strategy is I like his philosophy of taking as much crap off as possible. I've talked a lot about that before. I really enjoy that, and I think we should do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way he does those tournaments, the Moron Bandless tournament, is a little questionable, because he often wouldn't, because what he does is he just looks at the deck lists that people submit, and he just picks them. He picks the ones that he thinks are interesting. If he did something like that, the odds that something like Sword Soul featuring Masterpiece would be in there is a lot less likely, because he's a lot more likely to pick the pure True Jaco build.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing he wants to feature, to say this is no longer good. So it kind of, people are a little bit too incentivized to build for him picking it, rather than building for it being good.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how the Kali effect video was set up, but if it's just anyone can enter, here's the ban list, and then maybe you have like a cash prize or something to really get people going, then I can see how that would definitely give you. But one of the biggest problems is just innovation.
Yeah, because
it takes time.
Yeah, it wouldn't be that hard, I suppose, to integrate some of these cards. Like is Bamboo Sword banned? I don't remember.
Bamboo Sword?
No, I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of something else that's like like an engine that's just plus everything. I'm dumb. It's Nightmare. Nightmare Mermaid. I'm stupid.
Oh, Mermaid?
Mermaid.
What is Mermaid doing there?
So you could like unban Mermaid, unban the Harpour or whatever, and then any deck is full Orcos combo again.
Yeah.
Again. It's just, you could have 4 interruptions just off of 2 monsters uninterrupted. So, easily just do that. Think Verte would be banned, but any 2 monsters would just be DP.
So what are you talking about?
So it's like
in this tournament?
No. So it's like the innovation bit. You don't have to innovate that much, considering these things have existed prior.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like the Masterpiece thing, that's like an innovation. Like that's not.
Yeah, that never existed. But then Protos existed, and then it's just Protos is a worm.
We never had, to take it back to the example you just gave, with peeling off the Orcus. Like, we know what it'll do. But do we really? Because we didn't have the scrap cards at that time.
Yeah.
And scrap cards play really nice with Orcus cards. So maybe it would not be 4 interruptions. Maybe it'd be bricking on fridge every time.
Maybe.
As is the only scrap experience, Orcus experience I ever see.
Maybe.
Bricking.
I don't know. At that point, it'd just be deck building philosophy is combo enablers to bricks, right?
It all depends. I don't know. It's interesting. If I was able to become a big content creator, like, subscribe, share, follow for more, I think I would very much like to make a very huge part of my content just doing recursive tournaments of certain sort of formats. Like, I'd love to do, this kind of be crazy because it'd take a long time to make it watchable, but I'd really genuinely love to do a no ban list tournament, and every week we make a ban list. So we basically just start over. Rather than playing like traditional, something like legitimate no ban list. And then obviously the first one's going to be terrible because it's all going to be FTKs, right? But then it's like, okay, now in this new context, what are the problem cards?
Mm-hmm.
Is it Pot of Greed, or is it this FTK enabler, or is it, Cannon Soldier?
Yeah.
It's like we don't have all of this baggage of cards that were banned for all these other reasons, financial or because of tangentially or trying to not nerf cards that would come out in the future. All of these sorts of reasons, we just start from that point. Because a lot of people do, that kind of happens in progression series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they're going from the beginning and moving forward. But I kind of just want to start with now. Because I want to see what the best FTK is. It sounds kind of dumb. But with no ban list, I want to know what wins. I want to know what FTK is the most resilient, that can play the most hand traps to stop the other FTK.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, what is that? Is that Frog FTK? Or is that something else? I don't know. I'd be very curious.
Be interesting.
Is everyone playing Hanawata to stop burn damage?
Be funny.
That sounds pretty good. Are people playing Hanawata Herald of the Arclight to stop their opponent's Hanawata?
That's funny.
I want to know. I want to know what that format looks like. But who on earth would subject themselves to that if I didn't have a following and cash prizing to convince them to subject themselves to that?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends.
I don't know. Anyway, we've been talking long enough, so if you're done, we can be done.
We can be done.
We can be done.
This would be it. Let's go.
Yes, this recording has gone well. There's no weird breaks in the recording. That's good.
Yeah.
Hopefully the audio is good. Y'all know. I don't yet. I'll figure that out soon. Thanks for coming on, Jay. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. It was a pleasure. Hope to see again. Maybe this time with good old Kirby. See if he shows up.
We finally get a triple episode with the two of you get to fight each other live.
Wow.
Rather than weeks apart. Anyway, I look forward to that. Thanks for coming on, and goodbye.